So you're about 20 when you moved to Aberdeen.
20, yeah.
And then it was the year after that Sir Alex joined.
Yeah.
What was that first impression like?
To be fair, I'm glad he turned up. No, because I didn't like Billy McNeil. I love Billy McNeil, but I was useless when I joined Aberdeen. I was absolutely. Everybody thinks I was playing selling. I was useless. I was the one that when they named the team. When you're out in the pitch and they go number 6, Willie Muller. Way number 7, Gordon. Oh, yeah. You heard that mumbling going on. I just wanted to do so well for Billy McNeil. I felt I let him down every time I seen him. I went, oh, but when Alec come, it was the world changes.
So what did he do then? What happened that meant that you suddenly felt more comfortable?
I think most of this, he takes you from thinking about winning and making sure you win, and that's what he did. And he's the best sports psychologist the world has ever seen. He understood what it took to win games of football and where you have to go. To get the worst out of yourself sometimes to win the games of football. And sometimes you win the proud of it, but you'd have to do that to win and turn you into real competitors, real people who wanted to win everything.
Did he rule by fear?
Absolutely petrified him.
Yeah.
The lot of us.
Yeah.
Nobody ever got injured. Because if you went on a Monday and you had something wrong with your ankle, to miss training or something like that. Oh, North Sea. Into North Sea, because Pittodrie was right on the North Sea. That's where you went with your injury. North Sea. Oh no. And if you fell out in particular, if you fell out with him kind of badly, he would send you to North Sea at night. And you're standing there with your parka on, freezing. So if on Monday anybody injured, no, we're fine. Okay. Absolutely fine. Not a problem here. You can drive you bonkers at times, but genius, absolute genius.
You dislike the word winner, but he's a winner.
Okay, it was everything.
Yeah.
Everything with him. You played cards, you had to win it. Snooker. We had a snooker competition once where Joe Smith beat him. Joe Smith got transferred to Motherwell 2 weeks later. Bang. I'm back in, he says. And he's playing away. And he got beat with a guy called Ian Fleming, right? He got transferred. He was out and all. I'm back in.
Oh no.
I was scared to play him at snooker in case he got transferred.
Oh, dear.
Were you nervous about him finding out that you were leaving?
Oh, bag of nerves, yeah. Because I'd made up my mind, whatever happens, I'm out. I can't do any more of this, I'm out.
I think he said at the time, though I always felt there was a cunning streak in Strachan, I'd never imagined that he could pull such a stroke on me.
Now, this was in his book, and then the funny thing about it was, when I went to sign for Manchester United, he calls me the day before, you signed for United? Aye. I'll come down with you. I went, really? He said, I'll just make sure the deal's done. He come with me.
All right.
You don't want to get a manager coming with you to sign for another team.
Not at all.
So he come with me. I found a picture the other day there. We've had a strange relationship over the years, And then when we get to the World Cup final in '86, he was in the room next to me. And we had this horrible, horrible rooms. I mean, horrible, nothing going on. And I could hear him at night coughing. Because when he was nervous, he always this, you probably see him doing that. So I couldn't get to sleep at night. So he came in one morning. I went, try to pick the team here. I'll give you a hand, pick me. He went, I know. I said, anyway, what are you doing at Aberdeen? He says, well, I've only leave for 2 teams. I went, who's that? He went, Barcelona and Man United. I went, oh, I hope it's Barcelona. Aye, right. So he turned up. It's fine. It's good.
Yeah.
And it's the best thing that ever happened to Man United.
But everyone called the gaffer, and we'd all be in a room and at breakfast, and the gaffer would walk in, and Tommy I wouldn't even be going up to him and saying it. He'd sit and be like, "Morning, Gordon." Morning, Gordon. And you're like, Tommy, what are you doing, man? He was just 100 mile an hour, mate. What a guy.
One person I need to ask you about, sorry. Probably know your favourite, Tommy Gravison.
Thomas.
We've had loads of guests on it. I've told some great stories about him. How was he to manage?
Thomas was just impossible. There is bad professionals, and I've been lucky about maybe 3 or 4 over my whole career that's you didn't want to manage them, didn't want to be in their company, you want to get rid of them. Thomas wasn't like that at all. Thomas was a decent fella. Thomas was a good laugh, but Thomas was so intense that to coach him was impossible. but never a problem. Never a problem. He was uncoachable, but incredible talent. And as you seen yourself, he was a hard worker at training, fitness, but didn't have a great attention span at all, Thomas. He found it very hard to take things in. He actually, do you know what he's doing now?
Vegas, isn't it?
He's in Vegas, and plays on these games. I think he's the second best player in the world.
Call of Duty.
That's it. And I think he makes a lot of money doing that, and he's quite happy doing that. But good talent, but
he was
uncoachable and absolutely no discipline. Disciplined off the football field, but undisciplined on it. But never gave you problems.
Mark McGee told me that Fergie in his infinite wisdom one night decided to change the tactics for an away game in Europe. And you were getting battered.
Oh, yeah, I believe that. Come on,
I think what happened was you eventually changed the system and let him have what for going down the trackside.
Oh yeah.
When he was telling me.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, I need to keep this, but it goes on forever. It's basically that we're 3-0 for the first leg, and we beat Argis Bateste, which is in Transylvania somewhere, and we got there. Just the day before, Sir Lex said, we'll get through, but we'll make sure we get through. We've got to play, because we always play 4-4-2, and me tucking in a bit, Peter being out there. We've got to play 4-3-3. Not got a clue. Anyway, so it went on for about half an hour, and we were 2-0 down after half an hour, and I was unfortunate to be the one at the side telling me where to run, where to go in, go out, go back, go sideways. Tell McGee he's doing that wrong, tell where to get in there. And after a while, I just told him, but it's not our fault, it's your this is being polite as I can,
I know.
right? But at that point, as soon as the words came out of my mouth, all the subs and Archie Knox went, oh Jesus. And anyway, half time come round, and I thought he might forget, but absolutely no chance forgetting, because this was about 20 minutes, and we kind of played something like Tig at Aberdeen, where if you made a mistake just before half time, you were getting it. But if somebody somehow made a bigger mistake just before that, it was like Tig, oh brilliant, you're getting it. But nothing could have saved me that night. I really got, that was the kind of start of the hairdryer, plus other things coming in my direction. Actually, the flying objects missed me. They hit Willie and Alec, which was unfortunate because Willie was upset his perm got messed about. But that is the abbreviated version. But again, love it. I love it. I love thinking about me being so scared as I was, and people looking at me, and I'm looking around the dressing room, and basically the players were feeling sorry for me at that point. It's not often you get that real.
But basically, footballers, I mean, when that hairdryer stuff's going about, and in a dressing room at half time, it's absolutely magic. If it's no you, it's getting it, because you see somebody on the other side, you just sit and you just soak it all in.
You know, in Subwell, Alan, when you're sitting down and the two guys either side of you move that way, and you go, where you going, lads? Stay close together, be a team, get in, get close. My midfield partner's disappeared.
I remember that day, I've told you.
But great, listen, and when you speak to Sir Alex now, you'll start laughing and things like that, and we all laugh at all the things we said and done, and as long as it was in the right reasons and you wanted the team to win and it wasn't personal, it was fine. So it was good. We used to turn on each other that way.
Yeah. But see, that game, is it like nothing else you've experienced?
Yeah, it was mad. The Old Firm game, as I say to people, it's filled with colour, passion, enthusiasm, and you've got to see it to believe it, and you've got to hear this noise. I mean, a throw-in becomes decibels, you know, it's our throw-in, and there's 50,000 people screaming about a throw-in, and you don't get that in many football grounds. It's larger than life, but there is a downside to it. There's a negativity about it. There's a horror about it at times when you think, do people actually behave like this at times? So there is that wonderful excitement, but there's a downside to it where people can actually be that brutal to each other.
Was there a point in that season that you thought we could win the league?
I think when we got back and beat Hearts 3-2 at Tynecastle, and Piero come on at half time, they were 2-0 down. It was 2 corner kicks, I think, maybe, and they were very powerful, and that was a good Hearts team, by the way. Yeah, a right good Hearts team. When you have a look at it and see the players, where they played, what they did, the wages they were paying at the time, bringing in top players and a physical side playing there. We're 2-0 down. We put Piero on, and Piero made a big difference, running with the ball, without the ball. And I think Stephen McManus, who grew as the season went on. Stephen, who's a wonderful servant to the club and great for me. He scored to make it 3-2, and I think that's when you think, we're going to be all right. And then we signed Roy Keane, came into play. The dressing room was going stronger and stronger at that point because there was people left who didn't want to be there at various things. And the dress, Dion Dublin joined as well, making it
great guy.
That's what I'm saying. And Roy, always talking to the younger boys, didn't really speak to the older ones, but just went hello and all that and get on with it. But they two guys come to the dressing room, just went wow. And they two guys helped everybody. There was a thing about them that they wanted to help everybody. And the younger guys then started feeling a part of Celtic, which maybe they didn't feel part of before. So they got it, and these two guys come in and helped them. So we had that going, and we ended up just driving on and winning the league and being very professional about it.
Because there was rumours that he didn't want to sign Roy Keane, is that true?
No, not at all. But I just wanted to make sure that Roy knew that when he came up here, and that's why I had to speak to him, listen, yes, Dermot would like to sign you, Peter would like to sign you, I want to sign you, it's fine, but you understand that you've not played for 6 or 7 weeks or 2 months at Man United, and my team are playing well at the moment. Petrov was on fire, Nakamura was on fire. I said, I don't want to upset that, but there'll be a chance for you. There's absolutely no doubt that there'll be a window for you. Are you prepared just to wait a wee bit till that window comes along? And he kind of nodded, and that was enough. I got on great with him. I still get on great to him to this day. And I thought he was really professional. But at that time, his hip was getting bad as well. There was a number of kind of training things you're talking about, you know, the training exercises we do, up and over the hurdles and volleys and that. Well, Roy booted the hurdle away one day. I couldn't stop laughing. Behind his back, I laughed. But he was big, and I think when they two joined the dressing room, it became a really united dressing room. And when that happened, it just took off and blew everybody away.
How did you feel when you learnt that when Big Ron was going, that Sir Alex was the man who was coming in? What did you say to your teammates?
This is a bit different, gentlemen, because they heard me speaking about him previous. But he started off quite sedate, and after about 6 weeks of the boys, I went, no, that's not the guy you describe. I said, just wait. And it did change, yeah. It did change when they got the full brunt of it, because I think Alec was just seeing his way into it. And it was different. It was a different sort of club, different sort of players he was dealing with. They were higher personalities. But I've got to say, the boys never made it difficult for them. They were just who they were. That's who they were. They never went out of their way to make it difficult. Trust me, they were behind them. They found it very strange, the discipline after Big Ron. And obviously, they enjoyed the freedom that Big Ron had given them. It was a wee bit different. But who cares what these boys thought or I thought? He turned that club into this dynasty. Who cares? Nobody really cares. We're only interested, did he bully people? Did he shout at people? Who cares? He gave it, I don't know, 20 years of magnificent football and excitement to all these supporters, not only just Man United, but people in the world, to watch his team playing football, and he produced these wonderful kids as well. But nobody cares about, you know, anybody whining and groaning that he might have shouted at people.
Yeah.
Because we're only interested in winning, football fans.
So it's interesting because you mentioned some massive characters at the club at the time. He's come down from Scotland. Do you think that Alex was intimidated by anybody?
Yeah, I did. I just thought there was one or two that he wasn't, and they weren't trying to intimidate them. It was just that the presence some of these guys had, and he found it kind of difficult how to deal with them, because that group that we had were all just young boys, and we all got the same wages, we all did the same thing, and we never really had any standing in the game at all. We were just a group of lads that played, and we'd grown up with this. But this was a different kettle of fish. People who had a licence to live a life, celebrity life, all the rest of it, and then just play football at the weekend. So I think he found that really difficult, yeah. It was only when he cleared the decks, all that kind of group, and me included, that he did get the group that he really wanted to mould himself. It took a while. It took a few hits and hits that would have floored other people. I mean, floored other people. They kept going. He kept fighting the media. He kept fighting everybody. He kept making it a misery for media people or anybody. And he eventually got to that. And as I say to you, I think his life, his petrol in life is anger, which is great, which is a bit like myself. But I really was pleased for him. I'm seriously pleased for him because I seen the pressure he was under when he first got there.
Was that the way that he stopped the drinking culture, if you like, just by clearing the decks?
Well, it took a wee while. It took a wee while because it lingers, that drinking culture. It lingers. It's like when I was a kid at Dundee. I was going out drinking when I was 16 on a Thursday night, drinking alcohol on Thursday night, because that's what all the first team players did. So it took me away. It's only when I went to 5 years later, went to Aberdeen, I thought that it become a rules that you can't do this. But I felt, and that's what happened with Man United. There was this kind of culture. And it happened at Liverpool as well. That kind of drinking culture went on after Souness and Sammy Lee and all these guys moved on. McMahon, it kind of seeped through. But the problem was when it seeped through to that group, they weren't as good at players. But they're still having that culture of that drinking culture at Liverpool. And it happened, and that's what happened at Man United for a period of time. Then it became a real, I think once the kids come in, the discipline, because you're already disciplined, him and Eric Harrison, then it kind of changed a bit.